Welcome to the Show. My name is Andrew, and this is Beck.
Hello.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
So we just had a family holiday. These podcasts are being recorded ahead of time, so that by the time people see or hear this, this will be like a month in the past or something. But we just came back from a family holiday. I had
it's still relevant. Yep.
It's still relevant. And a break from routine and getting out of shape and drinking every day.
To the gym often.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a great holiday, really relaxing. At the beach, even though we live in Bali, it felt like a totally different place.
It was a staycation.
Yeah.
The different parts of Bali are very different.
And also Laura slept in until 8 or 8:30 every day, which was amazing. Champion. So then I slept in that long as well.
Yep.
So yeah, it was really a holiday and out of routine for everything.
Indeed. And so now we're getting back into it, so we thought that might be topical. How we approach that, how we look at this as an opportunity to sort of refocus on goals in terms of getting in shape, and how you tie that in with lifestyle and other goals. So I've already started. You're starting tomorrow because we came up with our plans.
Yes.
And you've given yourself one extra day to get your shizzle together.
Yes.
And then when you start tomorrow, what are you starting? What's the plan? What are the goals?
Instead of doing 75 hard, which is too much for me, and I don't like failing at things, I'm going to do 75 soft, which is the focus is just 4 things. So is that 4?
Depends if you're a Simpson or not.
So diet. So for me, that is hitting my macros, especially the protein macro. So 120 grams of protein. So diet, and then exercise. It's not 2 workouts a day. It's just one 30 to 45 minute workout. So it's just normal. You don't have to be indoors and outdoors.
So this is a bare minimum requirement you're giving yourself?
Yes.
You'll do Pilates for an hour and you'll weight train for like an hour and a half.
But it's not specific in that I'm not going to do outdoors and indoors, even though I do think walking outdoors is good for you. And I can't really do that as well. And then water intake is 3 liters. And then the last thing is reading 10 pages of a book per day, any kind of book. It doesn't have to be specific. Because I believe that the concept was created by someone else.
Of course it was.
So it's like a dupe version of what's his face? What's his name?
Andy Frisella.
Yeah, it's like a fake Chanel.
I bet some autismo nerd has informed him of it. Dear Mr. Frisella, I write to you today to inform you that somebody is blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So somebody's come up with 75 soft, and those are the official rules of the unofficial 75 soft, are they?
Yeah, those, and then obviously I have a bunch of other things that I'm going to be doing that are either to do with work or health related, like take my supplements, take my vitamins, get some sun every day, things like that.
Yeah, okay.
And specific work stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. But for my training, it is either strength training or Pilates every single day. It has to be. And then, you and I agreed to add in one extra thing.
What did we agree to?
So it does sort of make it 2 workouts, but it's not really.
Is this a smutty thing? Oh.
No.
Never mind.
I'm doing the booty bands as well 1 time per day. I'm just doing booty bands supplementary, everyone. So I can do that at home.
Right.
So lateral walks, deadlift lateral walks, banded kickbacks, and then frog pumps every day. So what I should do then is measure my glutes before this. Yep.
That's really the only measurement. Life is a success or failure based upon how big your butt is. I think that's pretty true.
I mean, there's not really anything else specific I'm working on. I mean, of course, we all like to have a small waist.
Yep. But you're never out of shape,
I'm pretty happy with my size.
Yep.
I just would like to be stronger and have more energy.
Cool. So you got your diet in place. You have a training plan that is rational, reasonable.
I have a meal plan, yes.
And sustainable. So
yeah.
Okay. And that's, you're taking your lifestyle into account. You're being realistic about it.
Yeah, I can't do 2 workouts. Because are your 2 workouts in 75 hard? Is it 2 45-minute workouts or 60-minute workouts?
45 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So we're talking about 75 hard. For those who don't know, I did that last year and finished on Christmas Eve. It was perfect timing.
Yeah, it was great.
And I followed the rules, but of course I had to make it harder. So I added a bunch of rules. And part of the concept of 75 hard is not, it's not really a fitness challenge or a weight loss challenge. It's a mental discipline challenge. And so many people miss that because you see a before and after photo and go, wow, he's got abs, so it must be about getting abs. Well, no, it's not actually. But if you train twice a day and you don't eat like an arsehole and you do that for 10 and a half weeks, you might have abs, That's sort of what happens.
Yeah.
And I did it for the purpose intended, which was discipline. I needed to sort of get my shit together and be more productive and be more organized. And it really, really helped me with that.
Yeah.
But then, as I said, I had to make it harder and then put a bunch of extra tasks on. And the issue there is that the concept of 75 hard is being uncompromising. It's about being unreasonable. So that's why you have to do the 2 workouts, and they have to be 45 minutes, but one of them has to be outside and they have to be hours apart. So you're going out of your way to make these rules to make things inconvenient. So the point is, and that's why it's called 75 hard, not 75 effective or 75 efficient. You do hard shit just to make it hard so that you want to quit or cut corners, and then you refuse to compromise and you follow the rules. And so then that just sort of exercises your discipline, toughen up muscles, which is really cool. So, and this is something I've advocated to people for years. There's benefit in doing hard shit just for the sake of doing hard shit. Because then it's a life skill. Going gets tough. Well, the tough get going. If you haven't practiced just toughening up, then it can be harder for you to just shrug it off and keep going. So all of that was really cool. But then because I made it extra hard by putting all these other tasks on top, and then keeping the same philosophy where I have to get these things done, it then started to really impact negatively, like time. So I had the idea. One of them was I would do at least 200 words of writing.
To do with health and fitness.
Yeah, just sort of coaching stuff. The idea, it sounds like a good one for somebody who's sort of basically a professional communicator. That's all I do is write and speak. If I can bank up 200 words of something every day, then that should make life easier in the future. Sending out emails, captions for social media posts, whatever. But what it ended up doing was just creating a bunch of stress because I'd be looking at a blank screen going, what do I do? What do I do? And then, so I've got, these 1,500 words, 15,000 words.
That's a lot.
Sitting there, but it's not that good, So the amount of sacrifice in terms of time for the payoff just wasn't really worth it. What's worth it is doing hard shit, as I said before. But this time, I'm not going to do 75 hard. I'm going to do 175 days.
Yeah. And
it's not so much about practicing discipline, but it's about what I want to get done in
that time frame. Yeah.
So kind of like you, I've changed it to be more practical. And so now this is about results and outcomes rather than the process. So it's a little bit of a different focus. So I'll still have some of those non-negotiable things. So like from 75 hard, all 5 bits, the daily selfie, and then on top of that, I add measurements. Like I'm taking some skin folds this time just to make it more interesting. A belly measurement along with that selfie and the scale weight. So I'm doing that, and that's non-negotiable. 2 workouts a day, non-negotiable. But I'm not going to stick to it has to be 45 minutes. I'm not going to stick to it has to be outside. And I'm not going to stick to they have to be hours apart, because if I want to be more time efficient and more productive in business and life, I'll do, and I want to cut corners and just do a short chest and shoulders workout and I can get in and out of the gym in 35 minutes, fine. Or if I go for a mindless calorie burning walk and I'm back home after doing a big loop of Canggu in 43 minutes, fine, whatever. Whereas last time, I would do that, and then I'd be pacing up and down the street for 2 minutes in the rain to get my 45 minutes.
It was the wet season as well.
It was the wet season, yeah.
It's much nicer now.
It's much nicer now. So I've done 2 of these mindless calorie burning walks, and I'm quite surprised by how dry I am. I'm like a little bit sweaty as opposed to drenched, either from sweat or rain, like I was last year. So I'm making it a bit more practical. And then the writing, that's annoying, so I'll get rid of it.
Yeah. But so for the writing, is that what you use for emails and things like that?
Yeah, but I haven't used much of it because when it's time to send an email, I'm like, oh, I've got something to say now. I've got a better idea. Yeah. As opposed to, just forcing myself to come up with something, right? So that's why it just wasn't that much of a payoff for the amount of stress of looking at a blank screen.
I didn't know the rules for 75 hard or that you had to space out your workouts either.
Yeah, and then one of the other things I did was like a minimum of 60 minutes of working on future business. That's what I did last year. And so at the start, that was kind of like the writing things. I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to like organize for the future? Ooh. But pretty soon that became a super huge payoff because once a tangible goal sort of came into mind, I'm like, oh, I want to do this. Then forget 60 minutes. It's just working all day. Well, working every minute that I can that I'm not doing something else on the next thing. So that sort of launched the Ultra Shred program, which was wildly successful last year. So that worked. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to say minimum 60 minutes work on courses and things, programs that I want to launch. And I know that that's not going to be a problem. It's going to be more than 60 minutes a day.
Yeah.
To get done the ambitious schedule of things that I want to get done for the rest of this year. So hopefully, hold me accountable. I'll be releasing a bunch of new things that are sort of genuinely different to the offerings in the past. And it's just going to take work. It's going to take time. So it's not going to be a problem doing more than 60 minutes of future-oriented work, not just looking after the clients right now and putting out fires and stuff like that.
That's exciting. So 175 days will bring you till when?
October 14.
October 14, okay.
Yeah.
And for me, 75 days will bring me till when? July sometime. 4th of July,
4th
no
of
apple
July.
pie.
Well...
My apple pie.
Yeah, you have to wait till the 5th of July. So that's the other thing with 75 hard is like no junk food and no alcohol. So I'll be doing that as well.
Me too. I mean, just no alcohol in general is much better for me. I just perform way better. I always feel tired the next day after drinking.
Yeah. So we just did the holiday,
and
a bunch of drinking.
Drinks and delicious food though.
Delicious food.
Like
Easter, there's a bunch of chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate. Thanks to your mum bringing us an excessive amount of chocolate.
Well, you say that, but how much of it is left?
Yeah, I ate all those.
The little shame look.
I ate all those red tulip ones.
You let me have one.
Yeah, I gave you one. I gave Laura.
You gave me the squashed one. One that the baby squashed.
Because the reason I was so excited about that was because I was like, oh, cute. There's like a cute bunny rabbit container. Like, I wonder what's in it. I didn't think it was chocolate. And then I opened it. I was like, oh my God, it's red tulip.
Wow.
Like, I haven't had red tulip solid Easter eggs in years. But they were a little sweeter than I remember.
Right.
They seemed very, very sweet.
Okay. Well, chocolate is one of those things that everyone in the world is hyper chauvinistic about. Like, whatever chocolate you grew up with, that is the correct kind. And the chocolate everywhere else in the world is shit.
Especially in Indonesia, it's not good.
Yeah, but like American chocolate shit.
Yeah, they put some weird stuff in it.
Who knows what they do? Hopefully RFK can fix it. But they grow up with their Reese's cups and Hershey's and stuff, and they think that's good, and they think that the English stuff and Australian stuff is crap, and vice versa. Anyway, point being, we smashed a bunch of chockies, smashed a bunch of drinkies, and we're not going to die. Well, I'm not going to die if I don't have any for the next 173 and a half days, because I'm a day and a half in, getting through it. Yeah, anyway.
Motivation.
That's the concept. I mean, like with the 175 hardest granite challenge that I'm doing. So really it's about effective outcomes. Oh, yeah. So I'm not starting from the same place that I started from physically in terms of body composition and stuff. last year, so I'm obviously ahead of that.
Yeah, great.
So the plan is, at the end of the first, so I'm breaking it up into phases. In terms of outcomes, the first 75 days, I would like to be in basically the same place I was in after the 75 days last time. But because I'm starting ahead, I don't have to suffer quite so badly, which is also good because I'm not starving so much, and I'm not putting like really strict rules on myself with time restrictions. Then I'll be able to be more productive, but end up in the same spot. Cool.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think just a segue, but people will do maybe like, say they do the blitz and maybe they only can complete 6 weeks or something of the blitz instead of 8 weeks. And then they feel like, oh, I failed and crap. I'm never doing this again. I just don't care about fitness too hard. But you're right in saying that the next, say if you're going to do it again, the next blitz, you're starting in a better position than the first place you started, because it's not like you ruined everything. It's just you couldn't complete the full amount because something happened. Maybe you got sick, maybe your kids got sick, whatever. So when you do come to start again, you are actually in a better position. You're more educated. You know what works better for you. You probably have a better plan, a better schedule that works better for you. And then physically, your body composition is probably a little bit better than last time. So that makes the next time you're coming to do this better, easier. Yep. I mean, not necessarily easier, but just don't give up. Just don't quit. Just do it again.
All right. But the thing that goes on the T-shirt is the words "don't quit."
Yeah.
So first 75 days, I want to get to that ballpark at the same place and do it a little bit easier. Then the next, 25 to 50 days, probably more like 50 days, I want to go further. So get leaner, basically, because I'm not going to grow any muscle. If I've lost any, it's not much. And so that recomp will happen pretty quickly. And then I know I know what's going to happen for the rest of it. It's just I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to lift the same weights for the same number of reps every week for months and months and months. I've resigned myself to that because I just won't have the calories, the energy to improve. That's fine. But yeah, so first 75 days, then the next 50, get leaner again. And so I've set kind of an ambitious target that would definitely be like the leanest I've been since I competed 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And then 50 days of maintaining that. Like I wouldn't see any need to get leaner again because it's getting silly. But 50 days where it's maintenance, so then I can eat at maintenance calories, which means I won't be suffering so much, and I can be even more alert and do work and stuff. Also, the last time I did 75 hard, I did weight training every day. That's mental.
Yeah, especially if you're sick or you're broken, it is hard to not have rest days.
Oh, you're definitely broken. That's going to happen, and then you just go and train. So, again, phases. I think first 50 days, I'll do that again. I'll do basically weights and cardio. Those would be the two workouts. Mindless calorie burning. And then with the cardio, I'm going to move towards actually getting sort of fit at it's hard to say, running.
Okay.
So I want to...
thought you were going to vom.
Yeah, me too.
I hate running.
That's right.
That's right.
But I'm going to do it anyway because that's what self-loathing is all about. So I'll get a bit of a running fitness goal somewhere in the middle of that 175 days. And then after that, I might be looking at stretching classes or martial arts or just branching out, whatever. Doesn't matter. But I'm going to get leaner and I'm going to get actually genuinely cardiovascular fitter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right?
So it's more for your heart health.
Well, not even that, because I do my
What are you
checkups.
running away from? Like aliens, Trump? Not Trump. Actually, we love him.
Love the Trump. Well, we love Trump 45, Trump 47. Ugh, it's looking a bit ugly, but
What are we running away from?
Well,
stray dogs.
stray dogs. Yeah, our problems. We're running away from our problems. So, yeah, those are like the outcomes that I'm looking for. Also, yeah, so the first 50 days, wait 7 days a week. Then I'm going to take a rest day. So
Okay,
I'll
good.
do 6 days for like 25
Excellent.
days. Then for the last 100 days, I'll just weight train 5 days a week, which means I'm going to be doing 9 sessions of whatever.
Yeah, I think also if you're doing 6 days, then the 7th day you should have some sort of active recovery, body rejuvenation, health and beauty related
I'll
thing
go
for your
to-
7th day. So like
Go to Ubud and do some
No,
tantric pornographic
no.
yoga stuff.
either like a massage, you hate massages.
That's not a workout.
No, okay, well something stretching.
Yeah, there's a stretching gym next door. So
Yeah,
I'll go
top
there.
stretching with the Russians and go do the full body stretch or the hip mobility. They have lots of good ones.
Yeah,
They have
yeah.
hip mobility, they have back health, and then they have full body stretch. And they're all very good because they're run by Russians and they're not there to faff around. They're like,
Laying down the law.
well, like just a flashback to gymnastics when the Russians would be like, hey, we're doing splits. And then if you're not in splits, they're like, now you're in splits. And it's like, then you're just crying. I remember like watching my teammates just lying there crying. And we're like 10 years old and you're being pushed down and just go deal with the pain. I didn't care.
Sounds fun. So that's the plan. So it's complicated and multifaceted, of course, because I always overcomplicate these things. But just trying to think of everything, get it all sorted out. And so, I'll have like a bunch of non-negotiable hard rules and then some soft rules. Oh, one of the hard rules that pissed me off last time was bedtime.
Yes, we did talk about this the other night. Because if anyone wants to know, Andrew does not like to go to bed. Oh, and I forgot to take this up with your mother while she was here.
Oh,
I
no.
wanted to know.
That's a shame.
I really wanted to know why you hate sleeping so much, because I personally love sleeping. I love going to bed. Like once I get in that tired zone, I'm like, yes, bed is life. Gonna snoogle on in and just like, bam, I'm asleep. But for you, you're like, let's fight the tiredness. Let's keep going. 2 a.m. What can I do? And then you wonder why in the morning you feel like shit and you're so cranky. So that you did give yourself, during the last 75 hard, you gave yourself a bedtime and a wake up time. Was that correct? So you had
In bed time, a lights out
consistent
time.
schedule.
Yep.
But you've said this time that it's probably not going to work for productivity if you are in the zone of working and you want to keep working, which I do agree with, because you work better at nighttime, same as me. I work better at nighttime. That's when I do a lot of my video calls with my American clients is at nighttime. So I do agree with that. And yeah, there's no point forcing yourself to go to sleep if you're not actually falling asleep. That is a waste of time too.
True.
So, but I still think 11 p.m., 2 a.m., like that's a big difference.
Yeah. Okay. So the rule is going to be now lights out by midnight. But,
Okay, yep, that's reasonable.
But I've got a bunch of these exciting projects I'm working on that I want to
Yes.
get done. And if I only start like getting going at 8:30 p.m., I don't want to go, oh no, I need to have a shower and go to bed. And so, like I can do a lot between 10 and midnight. Like
Yeah.
a surprising amount. So if that's the case, then I'd rather allow myself the leeway to do that. And then I'm going to wake up tired and cranky and all the things that you judgmentally explained earlier. And that will be a self-correcting thing, because if I have to get up, then eventually I'm going to go to bed on time. It's called logic.
Did you just say that
honey,
will be
look it up.
a self-correcting thing?
It's a self-correcting
Hello?
system.
No, that will never just naturally happen with you. How old are you now?
Over 25.
Yeah, and you're over 40, 45. And no, that still has not happened. So it's not, sometimes people need to realize things are not naturally going to work out. So if you need to force yourself to go to bed a little earlier, then so be it. That's going to be the rest of your life.
Okay, look, I said I've got the rule there, but it's not a hard rule. It's a firm suggestion.
Yes. Well, no, you went to bed very early last night, so high five.
Yay me.
I've been really working on my high fives during the holidays. Not that this is important, but so I've been teaching Laura like consistently how to do high five, and she's really into it.
Yeah,
she
she's-
loves it.
She's pretty enthusiastic.
And then
about it.
obviously I had to teach my nieces how to high five as well.
Why? They're 5 and 8.
Apparently they don't do high fives in Australia. Like, don't celebrate.
The joyless island of Australia.
So with Lucy, it took like several times to be like, okay, that was terrible. Let's do it again. And then we finally got like, it was great. So yeah, Laura is excellent. She's like in front of them in terms of her high-fiving abilities.
Right. It's an advanced child. Got it. Yeah. So
Right.
I hope that narcissistic Dear Diary dump we just did is like useful to someone.
Well, especially since we just had Easter and a lot of people did overeat during that. Well, I know some of your clients did just based on hearing the background of them blabbering and you blabbering. And then also some of my clients did too, because Easter is like a big deal for them. Their family is super religious. A lot of the Americans super religious. Go. I think they did like a fasting on Friday, Good Friday fast. And then Easter becomes like a really big food festival.
But I'm confident that your clients and mine and us and we, whatever, will get back on track and stay there. And I think the key reason is accountability. And it's sort of one of the things that I kind of got wrong with 75 Hard last time, because you just inflicted 75 Hard upon me.
Yeah. Well, no. That was Annette.
No. And Annette inflicted it on you, and then you inflicted.
That's true. Isn't Annette doing this next one?
She sent me a message saying she's coming back from America in June, and then we'll start 75 Hard together. I'm like, bitch, I'm going to be like 8 weeks in by then. Okay. Maybe not that much. Whatever. Yeah, I'm going to be nearly done the first 75 days. But I'll have a lot more to go, so we can throw morals.
Then you'll have an accountability buddy for that last
100 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the point of 75 Hard is being accountable to oneself, because this is the other thing we didn't mention before. By the way, this whole podcast is not going to be an episode about advertising 75 Hard, but I promise. But it's about the discipline and the accountability to oneself. So if you only train for 44 minutes instead of 45, and then what you are supposed to do is admit to yourself you have failed. You've failed 75 Hard, and then you start again.
Yeah.
Right?
If you do one thing wrong, that's it.
Yeah. So, and it's about accountability to oneself. What I did was go, I'm an online coach, so I need content. God, I hate that word. To put online. I'm doing 75 Hard. I'll talk about that. That's content. And then in so doing, what I did is I made myself accountable to everyone else on the internet. So now, I can't fail. I can't be a pussy in front of 23,000 people in Fit Girl Club and 14,000 people on Instagram or whatever it is. So now I've got this weight of accountability from other people, which then made it a lot easier.
Right. Okay.
So I kind of cheated. So I cheated myself out of the process of being accountable solely to myself, because that's what really toughens you up.
Yeah.
And it depends. Like, do you want to really toughen up, or do you want to get the results? And so by making myself accountable to everybody else and not understanding the program as it's really supposed to be done, I then made it easier. I guaranteed success. Well, I'm not going to fail now because everyone's watching. And that's the power of accountability. Like, speaking of clients, I've got, I put the word out. I've got some spots in November and in January, and a few new clients came on board there. And like, you should just see their results. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's all these.
Well, I have seen that one of Danielle, just a photo.
A photo, yeah.
And she looks amazing. I mean, I worked with Danielle before. She was a great competitor. But as I knew, you would be able to turn her into an elite, force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's doing Figure Pro and OCB in America.
Oh, yeah, wow,
Pro. Yeah. So that's the standard
That's
she's got to reach,
exciting.
and that's the standard that she is reaching.
And she's how many weeks out?
Oh, bugger all now. By the time this video goes online, it would have already happened.
Yeah, so as well as my client, so like Marika, she's one of my faves. Been working with her for years, but in January was when she started back with me, like being more serious. And then, so was this the body weight. Can I show it to the camera?
Well, we could just...
Can the camera see that? Look. That's a scale weight. And doing nothing like super difficult, just following the plan, everyone. Great job, Marika.
Yeah, I've got the same. Like, I just keep logging into the system and seeing people's results, and it's just all these graphs of weight plummeting and waistlines being slashed and stuff. But they're all people who have done the blitz, pretty much.
Yes.
They're all people who know how to get in shape. The difference was accountability. And several of them have told me that this is the value. So once you've done the blitz, then you know at least the basic principles.
Yeah, you know what to do.
And it's a little bit more than just basic in the blitz.
Yeah.
So you are educated. You know what to do. Then you go and not do it.
Yeah.
Why? Because no one's holding you accountable. So
having to check in every single week with your coach and not disappoint them or feel like you let them down or wasted their time, I think makes a huge difference for people.
That's such a female perspective.
Yeah.
I don't want to disappoint you. Whereas my perspective would
you
be,
don't want to disappoint yourself.
I don't want to humiliate myself. I don't want to have that awkward conversation and go, yeah, so you know that thing we both agreed that I know how to do and can do? I didn't do it. Like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. So, and also because for my clients, I make them do, measurements, photos, scale weight every week, plus a weekly report, plus they have to call me. If they suddenly disappear and they don't log into their call, then I start stalking them and I just schedule the call myself.
We will be speaking.
You will not fail.
Yeah, and so that's it. Like the power of accountability is just
and same with, I think, also just having like a gym buddy. Like for me, that works great with having like Mackenzie, who lifts a little bit heavier than me and wants to train like around the same time as me each day. That's awesome for me, because if sometimes I feel like shit, I will still go because she's like, hey, see you then. I'm letting her down if I don't go. I don't want to be a shit person.
Yeah. Well, that's a concept that I talk about in the Blitz that I think blows some people's minds, in that you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't make an appointment to see Mackenzie at the gym and then not show up.
Yeah.
If you had a friend and they were moving house and you said, yeah, I'll come around on the weekend and help you move house, and then you just don't show up because, and then they ask why, you go, oh, I was a bit tired, or I didn't feel like it. Like, you would never treat your friend like that. But then
you do it to yourself.
Really shithouse, lame excuses that are no excuse at all, you will use on yourself or to yourself. You go, hey, I'm going to let you down, me, because I just didn't feel like it. It wasn't in the mood. It was blah, blah, blah. Amazing. Like, you should at least treat yourself with the amount of respect and dignity that you would treat your friends.
Yeah.
You know, and follow through. So it's very, very interesting that people don't do that. And then they have this strange idea that it would be easy for them if only they were motivated, and that other people are motivated. It's so easy for them.
Yeah. So motivation is one of those things that comes and goes up and down for a lot of people. And yeah, I don't know. For me, I never think like, today I'm going to be super motivated and it's going to be so easy. But I'm just so used to getting it done in terms of going to the gym or doing some sort of training that I just do it. And then people who sort of fall off their health and fitness fat loss mission, they think, oh, well, there are people who are motivated and there are people who are unmotivated. And I'm an unmotivated person, so I'll never be like Andrew Deasy, who's like always motivated. Like that's probably what they think. And then also, if you're not conditioned over time to understand that showing up is important regardless of how you feel, then you do really think that narrative is correct. Because, so going back to like gymnastics days for me, like, yeah, you'd have to show up and train every single day. It doesn't matter how you're feeling, if you're tired, blah, 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 you still go do it. You do the same skills over and over again until it's perfect so you can perform the entire routine. So for me, I guess I got lucky with that. That was one thing my parents got right. is that doesn't matter how you feel. You need to show up to get the job done.
Yeah.
I think that's the same with strength training,
Same with
body recomposition, fat loss. Show up and get it done, regardless of how you feel. You're not always going to feel like, yay, I'm so energetic and keen to do this. Sometimes you will. Sometimes you will feel great about it, excited to get in the gym, excited to wear your new active wear or whatever. But other days you will not.
And what you've just done there is hit the nail on the head.
Okay. I thought you were going to say you just blabbered too much.
In terms of, that would be redundant of me to say that, like several times a day, wouldn't it? So, this is the problem. People don't understand the definition of the word motivation.
Yeah, maybe you can tell me, because I don't know the definition.
You can tell me.
I don't actually know the definition.
So, everything you just said is true about the word motivation, but what people are thinking is wrong. What people think motivation is I am happy, I'm feeling positive, and I'm excited to do this thing. That's what they think motivation is. No. That is being happy and excited and positive. It's not motivated. If I put a gun to your head and say, do this thing, you're motivated. You have motivation, right? Socialists understand this.
And yeah, there are different kinds of motivation, like negative motivation, in that you're avoiding a negative outcome.
Yep.
And I do think I do that too, because in my mind I'll always be like, I don't want to be fat. So that's just like a negative motivation thing. I don't want to, this to happen. So I should just go to the gym. It's not necessarily I want to lift this many kilos or do this many chin-ups. It's not a positive motivation, it's a negative motivation.
Yep. And so those are the many kinds of motivation, positive and negative. That's it. So you can be motivated to avoid something bad, or you can be motivated to chase something good.
Yeah.
And that's got nothing to do with how happy and excited and enthusiastic you feel about it. That's probably the best word that people are mixing it up with. They think that I'm enthusiastic because if someone witnesses me go and walk in the rain and the humidity and the heat with blisters and sore feet, they go, wow, he's so enthusiastic about it. No, you don't know that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I'm not enthusiastic about doing that at all, but I am motivated to do it because we do what we are motivated to do. So when you're sitting on the couch eating Doritos and complaining, it's because you're motivated to do that. That's what you really want to do.
Yeah.
Your actions are expressing your priorities, your greater, deeper, more significant priorities, and they're not necessarily expressing your transient feelings of happiness and enthusiasm and excitement. So that's what people get wrong. They think, and it kind of says more about themselves than it does about other people. Because what you're saying when you say, oh, I wish I was motivated like you're saying, I would only go to the gym every day if I was happy and enthusiastic about it every day. That's what you're saying. Because that's what you mean. When I feel like doing it. Because you're assuming that other person who does show up every day, you're assuming something about that person. That is, they enjoy deadlifting till they go blind as much as you enjoy Netflix and Doritos. Because you only do what you feel like doing in the moment. You assume that other people are only doing what they feel like doing. Not true. People who go, well, what do I really want and what do I really not want? The negative motivation. What's required to get what I want and to avoid what I don't want, I'm going to do that. So they're actually motivated, yes, but they're ignoring the transient feelings. And it's just one of those rules of life that anything worth having is going to require.
It's not going to come easy.
It's not going to come easy. It's going to require some kind of investment. It's going to cost you. And investment's just the nice way of saying cost.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you time. It's going to cost you effort. It's going to cost you sacrificing something else that might be more immediately pleasurable to go and do the work and then get the ultimate payoff. So no, if you're sitting there out of shape going, if I was the kind of person who was motivated, change your mind and go, if I was the kind of person who was happy and enthusiastic and loved doing chin-ups with sore elbows, then I'd get in shape. Well, you should know that the people doing chin-ups have sore elbows and they're not enjoying it and they're doing it anyway. right?
Yeah.
They've made a choice to follow through, get shit done, and get the ultimate goal rather than abandoning their ultimate goal in favor of prioritizing transient happiness and the avoidance of investment, the avoidance of time cost and effort cost. If you're not getting it, it's because you don't want it.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Like, truly, that you just don't want it bad enough. And if someone put a gun to your head and said you have to hit your macros and train for 10 weeks, you're not going to feel happy and enthusiastic, but you're going to get it done because you are now motivated. Like, right? There's your motivation. So, and this is why I tell people, again, in the Blitz, but also elsewhere, you need to stay in touch with your why. Like, why are you doing this? Why does it matter to you? Because if you lose track of that,
when things get hard, you're just like, why was I doing this?
When this gets hard or when that gets tempting, when you'd rather go on, the boat trip or, I don't know, you'd rather go to the restaurant with your friends or go to the bar after work, whatever. There can be sort of positive, tempting things that lead you away from what you need to be doing, as well as the fact that the process itself can be hard and painful and uncomfortable and difficult. Either of those things can tempt you to run with your feelings in the short term and do something else. And if that consistently happens, it means that your short-term feelings are the most important thing to you and not the long-term outcome.
Correct. The other thing that I get clients to do to be in touch with their why is create the vision boards, which I started doing, was it 2016? 2016 is when I first started using vision boards to achieve my specific goals. And that was, everything that I put on the board and focused on, I think it was a yearly thing. It all it came to fruition for me. So like during
You manifested.
Yeah. But during 2016, so that's when I first started to do prep with you.
Late 2015.
2015. But
That's the thing.
2015,
People, if you want to compete in the competitions in May 2016, you're not competing in May 2016. You're starting in 2015 or you're starting in 2014.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of visual aids and then also text in the middle, which was my specific goals for that. And all of those things for that year happened, and then I kept doing that for every other year of my life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because having that to refer back to, especially if you're a visual learner, helps a lot. Some people, it might not work so well if they like.
That's a really good way to stay in touch with your why if you have a visual representation of it in your face all the time. I've had
every single day,
I've had loads of clients do hilarious shit. Like, they'll take their before photos, then print them out, and then stick them on the fridge door.
Oh. It's very confronting.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, when you've got confronting before photos, just to remind you, before you reach for more calories, this is what you're trying to avoid. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Then suddenly you're motivated.
Yeah.
Once again, you were always motivated, but you're reminding yourself of that motivation to change your temporary emotional state so that it's more congruent with what you have to do in the moment. Cool. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. That's how we're going about it.
Are we doing any Becylu funnies today?
Oh, did I have some?
I've got one funny one for you.
Oh, yeah.
If you've got your phone there.
I've got my phone.
I've just got one funny, but just let me find it, because now all I do is send videos to myself back and forwards all day.
Right.
And
it's a little schizophrenic.
Okay, so was it that one? Yeah, this is it. Okay, sending this to you, Coach DZ. Send.
All right.
Tesla, take me somewhere I've never been before.
You can.
How do I already know how this ends?
Yeah, you can guess. It's funny that the guy is not intelligent enough to guess.
Well, I don't know. Like, you see these videos, so many of them are staged.
Right. But basically, this guy is quite overweight. And the Tesla is taking him somewhere he hasn't been before because it's self-driven. In America.
Just about any eating restaurant around here. Been all these places.
Oh,
Kind of looks like it too.
I guess you've never been there before.
It's Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness. You never get in shape at Planet Fitness.
But that goes to show, doesn't it? If you're not going there, you're looking like that. You're wondering why. Tesla knows.
Right. So they're like a comedian couple with millions of followers. So I think that was staged. But yeah, good joke.
Okay, did you have a funny one for me at all?
Oh, would you like one?
Yeah. I mean, I've been saving up for like a full week. I've still got loads, but if you've got a funny one.
All right. Have you seen this one yet? Jack up the volume.
Many auto parts in my factory. If you need auto parts, you can find me. Very modest
So weird.
engines in my warehouse. They are very beautiful and very low quality. Very modest engines in my factory.
Wait till the chorus.
Okay. There's no way you would have been able to understand that without the text. No chance.
Do you reckon that's what you sound like when you speak Bahasa Indonesia?
Probably. Yeah, makes sense.
The voice is very similar too.
Because I recently found out the other day that garam and garam,
Uh-oh.
garam meaning salt.
Yep.
Can I please have some garam?
Garam, yep.
And garam means to fight someone.
That explains so many confused waiters
like,
over the
what
last
hell
few
is it?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that face.
Oh, you're mad. Shit, what did I do wrong? Sorry. Yeah, I only learned that because the boys at Nipsey Cafe were nice enough to explain to me, okay, Beck, this is how you actually
You need
pronounce
to
that
stop
A.
picking fights with every
That A
waiter
sound,
that you
because
see.
otherwise it sounds like you're going to have a fight with us. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, that was hard to understand, and I still don't know how you get this stuff.
Well, the real question is why there's so many engines in a factory. I don't think that's a factory. That's a warehouse.
Why was she so well dressed? Is my other question. She was like going to a formal.
Well,
and
she's not a white English-speaking person, so she doesn't
Was that in Korea?
dress like trash. It sounded very
The
Chinese.
skin looked lovely.
Great skin.
That reminds me, 75 soft.
Yep.
I got to get back on my Korean skincare regime, and I'm not kidding, everyone. You saw that post yesterday if you're in the Fit Girl Club. My face feels like sandpaper. And after it, you didn't need to tell everyone that, but I do that. Literally, if you were to feel it, you would agree.
Oh, wow.
I know! That is not normal.
I just had flashbacks to like high school woodworking
Oh,
class.
it's like a Canggu thing. Because in New Sadir it wasn't like that.
Right.
It's something to do with the heat and...
It's definitely hotter in Canggu.
Yeah, the humidity and I don't know. So I got to get back on my Korean skincare, and there's some really good... If anyone wants tips, hit me up.
Maybe you should like get some results before.
Yeah, I'll do it before and after of that too.
Yeah,
skincare.
then people might want tips, but...
Just wait, guys.
Okay, cool. Well, I think that'll do it for this episode, don't you reckon?
Yeah, it's been great.
It's been great.
Good chat. So see you guys soon.
Yeah, and if you're looking for coaching programs and no bullshit advice, hit the links below.